Did you ever thought about how much your simrig is consuming power-wise and how much does it cost for you to actually play that 2 or 3 hours in the evening? I actually looked into that and I would like to start a little bit into how we are developing from small sim races to extreme setups. But then I also would like to check closer what is going on with power consumption and then also look into ways how to mitigate these costs by doing investments in something like a solar system, including a little bit of battery capacity to make use of, for instance, sunlight. So stay tuned, drop me a subscription, and check it out. But where does it all start? It starts with a small setup, as I also started with just VR glasses. I had my wheel mounted to my desk and I was on my regular chair at my home, and then had some races in Assetto Corsa Competizione back in the year 2021 with VR glasses. And then it turned out very fast to, well, the seat is not so comfortable. I need now a real rig. So I start to build my own aluminum rig. And then the reel is getting weak, so I need to have a DD1. And then the pedals are not good enough. I need additional pedals. And then you start moving this into a different room, and then you're starting to use a monitor because VR is uncomfortable for a longer period, and then you run over to triples, and then it over and over escalates. And all the time it actually escalates further and further. It is investment, investment, and investment, but it also increases costs. It increases costs because your power consumption is exponentially also growing with the amount of gear that you're putting on your rig, right? And we are looking here together on my power consumption that I have measured. So I have measured my power consumption, checked in the regular streaming that I have, for instance, at my gym, but also streaming for my normal races. And then we are looking a little bit into the cost structures and then going into what can we change on it. First of all, looking into my power consumption, I'm using a product that is called Shelly, which is just something that you're putting into your power plug. And then it automatically collects every watts consumption for every second over the whole day, so you can actually monitor your power consumption in total. But also if you have some solar panels that are producing energy, it actually shows you what has been produced. So it's a pretty powerful tool at the end of the day, which doesn't cost that much. But nevertheless, go back into what the report is showing us. The report is showing us 850 watts if I am streaming for instance, Lima Ultimate. But I also have a power consumption of about 550 watts if I am just streaming my gym. So this is really just my screens and my setups and all of that, and just a little bit of load on CPU and graphics. So that's the numbers we are working with. So let's dive into a calculator to see how this is actually turns out into a full year consumption and the cost that I have currently. Let's take these numbers and put them now into the calculator. So I said we have 850 watts if we have full consumption. Let's pick up our calculator and then say we are streaming for, let's say, 12 hours per week, and then multiply this by 52 weeks, right? So we have 624 hours per year that we are streaming. So if I will put them in here, and then I actually take my costs per kilowatt hour, it is 0. Let's say 3.0, which is maybe a good medium. So my tariff is around 0.25. So it's a little bit cheaper because we have a very high consumption. If take these numbers now. You can see that we have consumed 500 kilowatt hours. So the regular four people family in a house in Germany consumes roughly 4,000 kilowatt hours. Today I was around with my dog. I had some nice chill walk in the evening. The sun was shining. It was a nice sundowner. And then I actually looked into my app and then I've seen, well, I am producing right now energy. This is pretty nice, right? So I don't do anything, I just walk around and then just, I see that my home is getting energy to maintain itself. So what I thought about also spending more and more time into power consumption overall, not just for sim racing, is about using that energy. I have two solar panels that are in front of, on top of my garage. I have them since a long time. It's just nice and fancy. But I also look now stronger into battery capacities and also getting maybe two or three more of them to just make more use of the sun that is actually given. It doesn't mean that it fully, eliminates all type of power that we have to buy, but we per year have 10,000 kilowatt hours power consumption simply because of our heating pump. So I came to the product Anker Solix, which is pretty nice. It's just a kind of battery box, which at the end of the day is a capacity of 2.7 kilowatt hours. And you can actually stack them to up to 16. So it's pretty dynamic. You can expand that over time. So what I did is actually bought another 4 solar panels and bought a battery capacity. And then I have 2 additional ones that I have currently running. And then also add there an additional battery capacity. So that in total, I have roughly 5 point something kilowatt hours as battery capacity. So I'm not streaming mostly over the day because I have to work, obviously, right? But the sun is shining over the day, so I actually use that sun energy filling up my batteries. And then if I have to stream and I want to stream in the night or in the evening, I actually use that power I've collected over the day and then use that for my hobbies that are mostly then while you actually are not working, which is then when it's already dark, right? So, and this is the kind of type I wanted to mitigate that. I just wanted to show you with a very small calculation on what does it really help you at the end of the day. So let's check it out. Let's come to the Anker Solix and then my 4 panels. So I have 4 panels now. I have the Anker Solix with the capacity of 2.7 kilowatt hours. And the whole system has like an efficiency around 80%, I would say. And the theoretical yearly production is around 1,800 to 2,500 kilowatt hours. So let's say we have 2,000 kilowatt hours and we have 0.3 cents per kilowatt hours that I've also used in the initial calculation. We have a saving of around 600 euros per year. We have an investment right now of exactly that system. We are paying around 1,500. Let's see what's going on the Black Friday. Maybe it goes a little bit down, but 1,500 is right now what you have to pay. So at the end of the day, it's a 2.5 years amortization that you require to, at the end of the day, get then energy for free. So with the assumption that, you have relatively stable weather, so it gets warmer, there's more sun in the future, maybe not, but with these assumptions, I currently would say it takes 2.5 years. Let's say worse, it's 3 years, but it's actually a time where you're not like waiting for 10 years or 20 years till you get your money back. So from my perspective, It is a very sensible investment, and especially for sim racers that are racing in the evening when it's dark, it is pretty good to have a solid battery to just make sure that you have enough buffer then for your streaming night. First of all, subscribe me if you want to support me. I hope the content helps you and it is also entertaining for you. For me, it is a pleasure to actually look into specific topics that I've never thought about. I learn a lot while digging deeper into Simracing and the content around, and also all the games and gears that we're running into. I also start now to escalate more and more, building my own pedals, building my own wheels, which is actually something that I would like to share here as well. But coming back to the video and the content of the videos, I had already 2 solar panels, so I actually thought about the good things of having solar panels. I bought them 2 years ago, and I also invested now in 4 additional, as well as the battery now. Because I believe we should use energy that is for free, right? And if there is an investment you have to do now to actually benefit from that in 2 or 3 years, I would recommend doing so. But at the end of the day, it's the choice of everyone to do this or not. You also need to have the space. You need to also have the money to do so. We had now both, so that's the reason why we take that step. Thanks for watching. Have a great week, and then see you soon when I'm streaming, being it sim racing, being it a little bit of gym work, or maybe one of my next projects while building a pedal or wheel. Thanks for joining. Talk to you soon.